out of Christmas Vacation. Do the drum roll.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see what happens. Yeah, you never know. There goes the screen. I see it now.
Right,
it's a nice blue screen. Hey, there's the Tiki Man.
All right. What's going on, brother? How the hell are you?
I'm doing good. You guys hear me?
Hey, there he is.
Got a little bit of an echo there, but can you hear us okay?
Well, good to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Can you hear us okay?
Oh, yeah, great, just fine.
Good, man. So, are you in the tasting room? Looks like you're in the tasting room right there.
Yep, we're in the tasting room here at 627 Eaton Street in Key West. I
Awesome.
got our new hooch here for public consumption.
There you go. Well, listen, a lot of people may or may not know this about you, but I'll get a little bit of echo there. That you are a big historian of Key West, and that's really inspired all this new rum and vodka and absinthe that you got going on. So tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, that is correct. So people come down to Key West, they want a true experience. They don't want a Disney World, made up, bullshit experience. People want to, live like Hemingway, walk in Hemingway's footsteps, and all the colorful characters that have made their way through Key West. There's so much rich history and ghosts, and you name it, we have it down here. It's Cayo-Heso, the island of bones.
That's right.
Bone
Island.
It's a drinking town with a tourist problem. We're all here, we're not all there, so this is where everybody comes that don't fit in other places. So you can imagine all along the way with Mel Fisher and Captain Tony and Ernest Hemingway, obviously, and Silverstein, and all these guys that have made their way through Key West and called Key West home. I mean, the stories just write themselves. The saying is, truth is stranger than fiction, right? So there's plenty of truth down here. We don't have to make anything up. So, being a historian and wanting to create, good spirits, behind every good spirit is a good story.
Mm-hmm.
So when, Papas Pilar does a pretty good job of making people think that Hemingway's a rum drinker. He just wasn't a rum drinker. He was a diabetic. He didn't like sweet drinks and things like that. He couldn't do sugar and those type of things. So when he lived in France, he picked up drinking absinthe, the Green Fairy, while he was a war correspondent in France. And when he came back to the U.S., obviously he kept drinking it still, and he was it was outlawed for 95 years. It was outlawed at that time.
Yeah.
But he also had a house in Havana, Cuba. I think most people know that.
Mm-hmm.
So he would bootleg absinthe when he on his trips to Cuba and bring it back to Key West, and there was all kinds of crazy stories about being tight on absinthe and throwing knives and. Then the Green Genie, the opalescence and, releasing the Green Genie, there's a lot of romantic writings about it. So we're able to track down the exact brand that he was drinking, with a bootleg brand out of Havana, Cuba, and we found out what recipe they were using.
Wow.
Which was an old 1853 Pernod recipe that Pernod no longer produces, and we recreated the exact recipe that Hemingway drank. So now you can walk in Hemingway's footsteps, and as of Friday, drink like Hemingway.
That's right. So it was available this past Friday. It's now available to purchase, right?
Yeah, we have online sales are opened up. We're at the bottling plant now. We're bottling. We're going to be shipping within a week or so. We've got bottles down here in Key West, obviously. So his signature cocktail was called Death of the Afternoon, which was absinthe loosed with champagne.
Okay.
You don't drink absinthe straight, so absinthe has to be, think of it as a concentrate. It's highly concentrated. There's a lot of botanicals and oils and things in an absinthe. A lot of pomp and circumstance. So we use so this is called a Pontellier glass.
Okay.
And you fill the ball up with the absinthe. And then you put this spoon on top of it, or any kind of a slotted spoon, but this is a reproduction of an actual spoon that they used in the 1800s. Mm-hmm. And it sits on top of the glass like that. And then we have a sugar cube goes on top of the spoon, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. Is that sugar cube green as well?
Yeah, and no, the sugar cube's white. That's just the packaging. Then we have an absinthe fountain. So this is a fairy absinthe fountain.
Right.
It has tickets on it right here. So you put the vessel holds ice cold water. So you put ice in there and water, so it's just holding ice water. Contrary to popular belief, there's no absinthe in the absinthe fountain.
Yeah.
Or, if you have this at home, you guys can put whiskey in this and just dispense it.
Oh, yeah, that'd be delicious.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, because it goes really fast in these bottles.
Yes, it does.
Enjoying the whiskey up there, because what was it? You had 3 bottles for a week, and you're like, hey, where can I get some more of this?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I can honestly say I went through the whole ordering process, and it didn't take as long as we thought it would, right? So I placed the order, and boom, like the next week or so, I got it. It was in the mail, and we've already drank that. So
Turn over some more.
yeah.
We had a little bit of hiccup with that. We just got connected with this the Cask Cartel, caskcartel.com, to do our online distribution.
Right.
And anytime you get set up with a new program or a new company, it takes a while to get the bugs worked out, get things going. But we're super smooth now. Everything ships right out. They got a ton of product. Their warehouse is in Orlando. Everything ships out of Orlando. And our bottling plant is in Cocoa Beach, which is 20 minutes away from there. So we got a constant, steady supply of unlimited product. So we got all that stuff going well now, and smooth as silk.
Wow.
So anyway, once you have your absinthe in that glass, the sugar cube sitting on top of it, you open the valve on the spigot, which drops. I don't know if you can see it. See the water dripping?
Yep, I can see it.
Mm-hmm.
That drips down into the glass and dissolves. You put it over top of the sugar cube and dissolves the sugar cube down into the absinthe and adds the water to it, and that's called lushing.
Okay.
Huh.
This is 140 proof alcohol.
Yikes.
So it's proofing it down, and it's also releasing all the oils, the botanicals, and the fragrances. And that's about a 15-minute process. To loosh the drink. So it's a very pomp and circumstance. Fancy French way of drinking a liquor.
Right.
And then, of course, if that's the green genie, you're releasing the green genie, and she spins around in the glass, and it gets all crazy and opalescent stuff. And then, of course, the big controversy about absinthe is the fact that it has grand wormwood in it, which contains thujan, which is a hallucinogenic.
Mm-hmm.
And thujan works on the receptors in the brain in an opposite manner that alcohol does, that ethanol does. So you got the ethanol working on receptors in one way, and then you got the thujan working in the opposite way. And the effect that it has on the brain is it releases fires the neutrons in your brain that are on the creative side. That's why artists and writers and poets and people like that always drank absinthe, because it would make you more creative.
Sure.
Make you more drunk, but it also make you creative.
Yeah, it sounds to me like, death in the afternoon, you really have to be where you're going to stay at, right?
Yeah. Well, so death in the death in the afternoon, that was Ernest Hemingway's signature cocktail. He couldn't do the sugar because he was diabetic.
Right.
So he loosed his absinthe with champagne. So a 5-part champagne to 1 part absinthe is a death in the afternoon.
Wow.
And thus how we tied into Hemingway with our product is it's called Death in the Afternoon.
There you go. Yeah, it's a really cool label. I mean, so much has went into this, even the labels themselves. I mean, you've really put a lot of cool. We had somebody over here the other night, and they were talking about the back of the whiskey label. It looks like it's burned on, and I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely, it's really cool. It's very nice. So people.
But we're trying to say period correct. We're putting a lot of effort into it. We've got great spirits, award-winning spirits. We could have done a lot of bullshit with the absinthe, but we took a lot of time and worked with the Alan Bishop, alchemist up in French Lick, Indiana, who's the head distiller up there at French Lick Spirits, and Bill Hockett over at Dayton Barrel Works, and these guys are like top of the game in the industry. So we spared no expense. Shipped in all the botanicals from France. It's 100% true and accurate recipe. We didn't hold anything back or skimp on any of the ingredients. So this is, when you drink this absinthe, you might as well just be sitting there with Hemingway at a table, because it's exactly what he would have experienced. And if you mix it with the champagne, that one of the 2 champagnes that he used, then you can't get any more correct than that.
Wow.
Man, it's so cool how you've put all this together. Like I said, the history of how you love the history of everything, but you want it to be accurate. You want the stories to be accurate. It's not made up. You've stumbled across something that in history that you thought was really cool, and you brought it into your fine spirits, and now it's on a label, and it's just really cool. I mean, and you're right. People go to Key West. If they go the first time, they go to Duval Street, they do this, they do that, and they do all that stuff. But if they ever come back, they want to always see more of Key West. They want to know about the history and all that stuff. And no better place to do it than at the tasting room. Come down there and get the whole lowdown on everything that you got going on.
Yeah, and we're putting these absinthe, these fountains, and I've already got a dozen of them. We're going to be putting these out in the bars all around town. This creates like a different experience. You can come to Key West and sit there and loosh, a beautiful Verte absinthe, and it's in the French style. It's just a completely different experience between just, hitting shots and chugging beers, and, down Duval Street. Yeah. This is for somebody for people who want to have that one day when they're like, hey, let's really do a cool and unique experience that we can't do anywhere else in the U.S. This is, to our knowledge, one of the first full-strength absinthes. And when I say full strength, I'm not talking about the proof. I mean the amount of wormwood that's in it. Mm-hmm. In most cases, the government has, had recipes have to pull the wormwood back on it, from what it originally was. We didn't pull anything back on ours, and we submitted it, and it was approved. So it's a real deal recipe. This is we can't be any happier with it. So we also created the Key West Absinthe Society. So the launch that we had on Friday at the Key West Food Wine Festival was the first Key West Absinthe Society group event.
Yeah.
If you go on Facebook,
the meeting lasted 4 minutes.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing events once a month for the Key West Absinthe Society, and also, on our website at keywesttradeco.com, we're going to be selling, we sell all of our products. We'll also be selling the buttons and the glasses and the saucers. That's a cool thing too. I don't have one with me now, but traditionally we have them. They're these little saucers that go underneath the Pontellier glass. Mm-hmm. And the neat thing about it is it has a color ring around the outside of it, and then it has in francs, a dollar amount in francs. And that is what you owed. That was your bar tab that you owed the bar.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Very cool.
To bring you a drink, she would swap the saucer, so at all times you knew what your bar tab was, and they were color-coded, green, yellow, blue, gold, different colors. When you hit red, you were done.
Wow. Yeah. In more than one way.
Yeah.
When the red saucer hit the table, you's done, bro. That's your last drink. So, cool things. We got all the pomp and circumstance that goes along with it. We've got some chefs around town who are going to be doing some pairings with absinthe services. So not just like a hookah. 4 people can loosh at the same time off a fountain. So you sit down at a table. You put the fountain down in the center of the table. Everybody's got a glass. You're looshing. You're talking. It's fun.
Yeah.
And it's a completely different buzz than you would get from any other alcohol because of the botanicals and the thujan and those kind of things. It's just a difference. It's like drinking Jägermeister or something. Different alcohols have different effects on your
Is anybody else in Key West at any of the other restaurants or anything? Is this something new that behind Key West Trading Company that you're introducing to the island?
This is brand new. This is the first time in 106 years you can drink this absinthe legally in Key West.
Wow.
That is so cool, isn't it?
I'm really honestly surprised and shocked that no one else has done it. It's not like it's that unique of an idea. I just put it, like you said, I pieced the puzzle pieces together, and I was like, wow, why are they making rum and put Hemingway's name on it when that's not even what he drank?
Right.
So those are the kind of things that me personally, I just don't like, because then it's just a branding. And nothing against Papa's Pilar. I don't want to take anything. They got a good product.
Yeah.
But, but the story behind it isn't accurate.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
There's the hole in the bucket, is that all of our stuff is backed up. There's a book called To Have and To Have Another, and that is Hemingway cocktails, Hemingway cocktail book. That drink is in there. He wrote a book called Death in the Afternoon about this bullfighting, and he talks about the Green Genie and drinking absinthe and all of those kind of things. So it's a very, very well documented through Hemingway's writings that he drank absinthe.
Well,
he liked gin and tonics and some other drinks too. But once he started drinking absinthe, that was pretty much his drink. And he recommended that you drink 5 of those drinks, and then if you drink a 6th one, it's called the Sun Also Rises.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I love it, man. I just love the history
That is
of
so
everything,
cool.
But
the stories are fun. You know what I mean? Why not? If you have the story and you've got the right alcohol to go with it, I mean, why fudge it or bullshit it? When you can just tell the story like it is. And then if somebody's like, oh, I don't know, then just go do the research or go read the book. It's in black and white.
Now I may have missed it, but is it normally green like that?
No, originally it was invented in Switzerland. Of course, absinthe was created like a lot of different alcohols as for medicinal purposes.
Mm-hmm.
So that actually prevents malaria. And the French government would give absinthe to their troops to prevent malaria. It was issued to their troops. So it was invented in Switzerland, and it didn't have a color. It was what we call a blanco. It was just white. So when you loosen it, it was just white and kind of pearl looking. So because of the oils in the botanicals, you're always going to get this opalescent kind of pearl effect of different colors and things that happen when you do the lushing. When France picked it up, that's when they started adding color to it with like petite wormwood and lemon balm and things like that. And different regions of France, because of the different botanicals that they had in their area, with these colors came around. So there's a red, there's a Le Bleu, there's a barrel rested. Pretty much you can do anything you want to from a color standpoint. The requirements are that it has to be between 110 and 150 proof. It's a high proof alcohol.
Wow.
And it contains anise, grand wormwood, and fennel. So as long as it has those 3 ingredients in it, and of course it's the grand wormwood, which is the Latin word for it is absinthia, is where the word absinthe comes from. It's just altered a little bit.
Gotcha.
So and the Swiss think that the French are idiots for putting color in it. So there's always been this kind of battle back and forth that absinthe shouldn't have any color in it. Y'all are idiots. The most popular one is the green one, because that's the green fairy, and that's all the folklore and things that go along with the green fairy. In France, in the 1800s, absinthe became more popular than wine. And they actually called it, their happy hour in France was called the green hour.
Wow.
Of course, the outlaw of whenever absinthe was outlawed in all the different countries, it was the wine industry was one of the big forces behind that, because they wanted to shut that absinthe production down, and because they were losing wine shares.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. So 627 Eaton Street is the address there. So if you're going to Key West, or if you are in Key West, and because you could probably see streaming on Facebook right now or whatever, just go by 627 Eaton Street. This is also where B-Man and Michelle does their Tuesday on the Islands. And, of course, Key West Trading Company, proud sponsor and partner of Tiki Man Radio. We can't thank you enough for taking time to explain all this. There's a lot to explain.
That's awesome.
When you start saying, hey, we now have absinthe available, they're like, well, what the hell is that? So it's worth, you can't put a price on you explaining it as if you would be right down there in the tasting room.
Yeah, we're doing lessons. Last night was the first time we did, absinthe training, showing, because getting the drip correct and all that kind of stuff and doing things properly. Once you do it once or twice, you're an expert at it. It's really not rocket science or anything, but it's just there's technique involved in there, and you're trying to achieve a certain loosh, right, to do it properly and to make it, to drink it, the way you want. And then, when we did our launch event on Friday night, it was interesting because we had 5 rounds of 5 different types of absinthe, and then food pairings that went along with it. And some of the people would start out doing the sugar cube at the beginning, and then when they got towards the end, they would leave the sugar off because they wanted to taste the absinthe flavor, by itself. Mm-hmm. So people think, it's a heavy licorice and all that. There's no licorice root in it, but the star anise has a licorice flavor to it. Mm. If you don't like licorice, then that people are kind of turned off by it. But when you loosh it and you let it all, kind of get happy and let the green fairy out, it tones it down so much that even people that were at the event that were like, hey, I just don't like licorice or sambuca or anything like that, really loved and enjoyed it. So we didn't have anybody that just refused it and didn't want to drink it and couldn't make their way through it. But if you like licorice, it's absolutely amazing. It's for sure, though, if that's the flavor profile that you enjoy. So, it's kind of like coffee or anything else. It's an acquired taste.
Right.
It's like I said, it's a unique experience. It's something different to do. Even if you only did it once, at least you can say you did it, and you drank like Hemingway.
That's true.
I've been drinking like the Tiki Man because I've paired Beach Buddha with the whiskey, so it works out really well here.
Yes, it does.
I guess when Chris comes to visit, he'll be right at home there. You got his coffee and throw some whiskey in it, and he'll be right as rain.
Well, I'm gonna have to tell him to bring his own whiskey because we can't spare it. You know what I'm
saying? We appreciate you guys, and we really enjoy the Singer-Songwriter Festival.
Yes.
Absolutely, love being a part of that, and I think that thing's just going to keep on growing and growing, and it's nice to be either at the ground floor with that thing, because I think it's going to be the Key West Singer-Songwriter Festival that they do down here is the largest in the world.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That thing started out just like you guys.
Yeah.
Just a few guys getting together at the Hog's Breath and doing this little thing, and it was just 4 or 5 people. Nobody took it all that seriously at the beginning, and it just builds and builds, and now look at this thing. So you guys could easily be the trop rock version of that.
Well, we're definitely looking forward to it. We're going to come down in March and kind of nail down things with Rick's and Dirty Harry's over there, and hopefully get everything all buttoned up and ready to go. It'll be our 5th year when we come back in November, and we really appreciate you supporting that all these years as well. That's been really cool.
Plus, we're going to get you down here at the tasting room in March and have you drinking some absinthe.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do that at the end of the day.
Days on the end just to get through that particular process.
Well, there you go. Well, brother, I can't thank you enough. We're going to let you fly. We're going to get ready for Jennifer coming up here shortly, and thank you so much. It's good to have you on the video this morning. This is a whole new thing for us. We're trying out, and we're really enjoying it.
Thank you guys very much. We love you, and keep on rocking.
Yeah. See you later, man.
See you, brother. Thanks a lot.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Man, that was awesome. It was good to see you.